Welcome to another edition of Handicap Born Black in America. I am your host, Ramon Roan. This is brought to you by the Judicial Freedom Riders channel, where your hosts, myself, Ramon Roan, and John Singletary. And today's topic is whatever happened to the real pastors of the black community. Some 50, 60 years ago, the pastors back in those communities, they actually had a close relationship with its members. And they actually cared, if I may, they give a damn about the conditions of the black community. However, over the years, things have changed. More so that the pastors have seemingly more concern about how much money they're bringing in. We see it, the televangelists, we see them with the bragging about having a private airplane, Rolls Royces, a large show. I remember this one pastor here locally in this church, and I visited their church. And the pastor had the nerve to say that his house was bigger than their church, square footage wise. He had a 5,000 square foot home, and the church was like, let's say, 4,000 square feet. I'm like, who cares? Whatever happened to the pastors living in modesty? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to the pastors that was actually activists? And many people say, well, I don't want to be activist. I don't want to be an activist because I don't want to hinder my tax exemption status. Well, you're not. Just be truthful. If the laws in the country are not fair for everybody, why can't you do it? Look, King Herod was doing wrong, and John the Baptist called him out on it. He called him, and John the Baptist lost his head on it, true, but he called him out on it. Preachers, pastors, you're not supposed to be quiet about the injustices or the wrong that's going on in our community. And African American pastors over the years have been instrumental in the civil rights movement. They took the mantle up and they decided, look here, we're gonna do something about this. This is affecting my congregation. But we don't have these kind of pastors anymore. At least they're not getting the kind of press. The preachers that are getting the press are Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They get all kinds of press. But there are many pastors. I know there are many pastors which we don't hear from them. But there are many pastors concerned about the African American community. Recently, they bragged about that President Obama is the best, in recent years, the best president for the economy based upon his record. Well, I don't know how that is. I don't know what figures they are. I believe I did a video about this recently. Check out my other video. But the African American community has been suffering, and we've been suffering underneath Barack Hussein Obama. Believe it or not, look. When our government puts out their numbers such as a 6.1 unemployment rate, however, if you're African American, your unemployment rate is more like 39.6%. It doesn't something's not right. The actual unemployment rate in America on average is probably more like 12 to 20%. And why isn't that these pastors are speaking up? And why are these pastors being silent about gay marriage? Why are they being silent about the fact that the first black president is promoting gay marriage over civil rights for African Americans? Unless there is no more racism, unless that we have finally become beyond a post-racial society, well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. We're still racist. There's still racism in this country, and we still need our leaders, church leaders, as well as civil leaders, to speak up against this racism. Now, African Americans are in a unique position. We were slaves. Our ancestors were slaves. We're the one. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed based upon the African American race. It wasn't because of Latino race or because of women. And by the way, that they snuck that in on you. The women's movement. They tried to mesh the women's movement along with the civil rights movement, saying that we're all the same. It's not the same, because what happened was that they took those women, or took those opportunities, those job opportunities, and also the business opportunities from the black, particularly black men. Look, there's always been a the black man has always had a target on his back. Always. Even to this day, we have a target on our back. Anyhow, what do you think? Do you think that we need more black pastors like we had, like Martin Luther King and some of the others? Do you think we need more black pastors like that? Black ministers like Malcolm X? Do you think we need more? I believe so. What say you? Where, there's a song called "Where Have All the Flowers Gone?" Where have all the good pastors gone? This has been another edition of Handicap, Born Black in America. Please visit our website, www.jfrinc.org. Become a member of our organization as we try to fix the wrong, and make it right. Because our justice system is unfair, especially to people of color. Again, this has been your host, Ramon Roan, and until the next time, keep the peace.